This young beauty is called Edie. She's 28 years old, works as a bank clerk. Late again this morning. Barely made it to work, just started working, the bank got robbed. Money isn't hers, life is precious. Edie quickly raised her hands. But these robbers were clearly amateurs. They holstered their guns when they saw cash, yet insisted the bank lady pack the money. She panicked and dropped it all on the floor. And triggered die packs hidden in the cash. The robbers turned orange and furious. Started arguing with the lady. Edie saw the gun on the robber's waist again. Time to be a hero, now or never, but as Edie reached out, another robber knocked her out. When Edie woke up again, she was already in the hospital. Luckily, the police arrived in time, and caught all the robbers, except for the hit on Edie's head. There seemed no other loss, but just then, the doctor gave Edie shocking news. Edie's parents went to jail when he was a kid. Over the years, Edie grew up in foster homes. She was a troublemaker. Now she's past her reckless days. She finally got this bank job. She's also in night school, just wants a stable life. But now, her plans are ruined. The child's dad is John. He's total trash in society, even her best friend warned Edie. But early next morning, Edie skipped her college entrance exam. Once becoming a mom, Edie wanted to tell the father. Entering John's unlocked flat, Edie got a huge surprise. Seeing the scene, Edie turned and left. Her bestie was right, she can't leave her kid with trash like that. But when she got downstairs, Edie regretted it. With Eddie's help, naked John rushed into a room in another building. John said it's his buddy's place, he could borrow his gun anytime, yet in under 3 seconds, the apartment owner grabbed a shotgun. Both men raised their hands. John's friend had already moved out. Just then, the gang started smashing the door. The owner had no reason to protect them. He turned to open the door for the gang, but the ruthless gang killed him and his girlfriend. The brother quickly picked up the shotgun. They fought back and escaped through the window. Just then, John finally remembered his car. Took the keys from John. Eddie started the engine, then began his show. After a wild chase with Sparks, Eddie ended it with a truck. Finally lost the pursuers. John told Eddie to drive to a factory. The gang fought so hard, it was because John kidnapped someone. His life and his life. This guy Leo is a card counter. He works for a mob boss named Nick. But last night, he went out drinking with John. Drunk John stuffed Leo into a box, just to take him to a casino for quick cash. Hearing such a crazy story, Eddie was furious. Had to send John back to Nico fast, but halfway through the drive, Leo started yelling for food, insisted on that corner restaurant. While they were distracted, John jumped out the car. Now it's all over. Eddie jumped out too, wanted to get away from John. But just then, Nick called Edie directly on her phone. He told Edie to meet him in an hour. Edie had to get back in the car. Now he and John were truly in this together. When they met Nico, Nick yelled at John nonstop. John actually worked for Nico, but he had messed up Nico's deals before. Not long ago, John was sent to rob a house. We agreed to scout first, but this idiot went straight for his gun. As for Leo here, with his sharp mind, he made Nico 600 to 700 grand in a year at the tables. Taking a man's money is like killing his parents. Nick told John, Leo could have worked for him 3 or 4 more years, easily making 3 million. Now John and Eddie must cover the loss. Soon, a casino will host a poker tournament. The prize is exactly 3 million. Of course, Nick doesn't expect John to win. He wants John and Eddie to rob the money. This is clearly a punishment for them. Eddie refuses without hesitation. He's a natural driver since childhood. At 15, he became Nick's full-time driver. He's been in countless robberies. He even saved Nick's life several times. Later, Eddie wanted to quit and go straight. Nick agreed. It's only been 8 months since Eddie left the gang. Now he's dragged back in by John's stupidity. It's not worth it. But John's in big trouble now. I left Nick's place. John begged Eddie for help, but Eddie was upset. Except for this deal, might ruin your own life. All because of Edie. Lost all hope in John, but seeing John alone at the bus stop. Thinking of the baby inside, Edie went back to Nick in the end. Driving a shiny blue muscle car, Edie and John went to a bar. Ready to meet Nick's guy, Black. But the meetup was still an hour away. John felt playful again. He insisted on taking Edie to the bar first. Edie couldn't refuse. She didn't want trouble. She sat quietly in a corner drinking. John wanted to show off. He bet money on pool with strangers. The strangers looked shady. They knocked John's coins off the table. John was about to explode, but Edie signaled him to hold back. John put the coin on the table again. The stranger swept it off once more. Now John had enough. Edie grabbed a cue to back him up. But Black arrived just in time. He stopped the whole mess. Once everyone was there, Black told Edie and John, $3 million would go to the vault first. Another car, also a prize, is on display in the casino lobby. Near the end of the final race, casino security will put $3 million in the challenger's trunk, drive the car to the award ceremony, then just rush into the car and start it. Drive away with the cash. It's that simple. As for security on site, besides the 20+ full-time guards, the casino also hired off-duty cops for extra shifts. But Eddie wasn't worried about security. They just needed to escape in a Dodge Challenger. Eddie feared hurting innocent people along the way. Robbing money and killing are totally different. But then, John brought up the wrong topic again. What about? Even the black guy couldn't take it, yet John pointed at Eddie pretentiously. This guy is my everything. To sit that away from me, he made the mess but made his girlfriend clean it up. Now he acts like a protective husband. An awkward silence fell over the room. After the meeting ended, Black took Edie to the bar owner's office. He straight up asked about John. He worried John would ruin the heist. Edie had to spill his history with John. Back when Edie was 15, his foster dad traded him for drugs. He sold Edie to a pedophile, but during the deal, someone noticed Edie crying and saved him. That was John. As for reliability, Edie got shot twice in the neck. He passed out. John drove to escape the cops. Now Black had to trust Edie. To ensure a smooth escape, they bribed workers to wreck the prize car, then bought a new one for heavy mods. They even added Kevlar armor. Eddie and John checked into the casino as planned, but they bumped into an old pal, Walt the Curly. He worked for Nick too, but they were rivals. Eddie got shot twice in the neck before, by this Walt guy. After Eddie quit, Curly rose to fame fast. Today he's celebrating a new car for his new girl. But Eddie and John don't buy it. They rush to ask Black if Nico sent Curly as backup. Black swears he knows nothing. Maybe just a coincidence. Eddie calls Nico again. Nico says he didn't call Curly. No clue if info leaked. He had to check first, but they still didn't believe. One more researcher never hurts. Eddie and John went to the parking lot. They found Curly driving his work car. No matter if it's coincidence or not, they needed backup plans now. Next morning, they drove to a wealthy normal family. Eddie wanted their male host. His dad Mark hadn't seen his father for years. He's paralyzed below the waist. He can only move in a wheelchair now, but he remarried and has a new daughter. This made Eddie feel bitter. When Eddie was little, Mark and wife Kate were small-time gangsters. Young Eddie learned street racing from Mark. One night when Eddie was 14, Mark and Edie picked Kate up from the bar. They hit a police checkpoint halfway. Edie, who's driving, gets nervous. She quickly pulls over. Then Mark tells Edie his mom has drugs from the bar. Getting caught means jail for sure. To keep his mom out of jail, Edie floors it as Mark says. Trying to escape the cops, the car flipped off the road. Eddie was unharmed, but Kate died. Mark was paralyzed below the waist. Mark couldn't raise Eddie anymore. The court sent Eddie to foster care. This led Eddie deeper into gang life. It lasted till today. Facing such a messy situation, Eddie can't just hate Mark now. So when Mark said he couldn't be Edie's second driver, Edie didn't say much. I don't accept apologies, I only accept changes. This was what Mark used to tell little Edie when she did wrong. Now Edie throws the same words back at Mark. First her birth mom and dad, then John. No one ever changed for the better for her. Edie's heart is truly tired, but John told Edie with some grievance. He was really trying to change for her. But someone like John can't transform alone. John wasn't actually brainless, he did think. The sun was setting, they cuddled by the sea. Edie was glad Dury's kid had a good dad. Back at the casino, the match went as planned. Time's almost up. The boss tells guards to move $3 million. Soon after, the final winner shows up. Cheers mark the signal. The crew starts to act. As planned, John goes to the stage first, but just as he grabs the keys, someone stops him. Those two thugs John beat up at the bar. They came for revenge at the worst time, but they were actually hired by the team. This commotion, even the cops guarding the booth came over. Taking advantage of the chaos, Eddie slipped into the car unseen and started the engine. The Dodge Challenger's performance is top-notch. It sped backward like lightning. A cop quickly fires a shot. The ricochet hits a tourist. Now cops watch as Eddie rams around. Soon a pregnant woman blocks his way. Seizing the chance, a cop shoots at the window. But it's bulletproof glass. As planned, Eddie speeds into the loading dock. Guards rushed to shut the door, but it was too late. Facing police cars closing in, Eddie went off the beaten path. Quickly ducked into a parking garage, then played a little trick, made two cop cars crash head-on. The rest chased him hard. Eddie hit the road as planned. Curly showed up to cut him off. The madman pulled out a gun. One burst flips a cop car, then he shoots at another wildly. Cops did get killed. Eddie's also to blame. He quickly pushes the car off-road, then they rush into a racetrack. It's a closed-loop circuit. Eddie finally races freely with Curly. Curly's old car can't match the Challenger. Soon he's in a sorry state. Just then, John's blue sports car suddenly appeared. It rammed into Curly's car. John grabbed a shotgun. He fired at Curly's car. His obsession with guns paid off. But as John aimed again, Curly swerved the wheel, hitting John's car hard. John bent down to grab his gun. Then tragedy struck. Eddie rushed to save him. John was bleeding and unconscious. Eddie watched Curly drive off with the money. By nightfall, Eddie found Curly at a motel. Just in case, they hid a tracker in the cash. Curly turned around. John stood behind him with a shotgun. But just then, something unexpected happened. It seems Curly bought his new girlfriend a car. But she clearly forgot. Tesla's crash prevention really works. But after this mess, John had no reason to let Curly go. John kept his promise to protect Edie. They drove back to base in Curly's car. The team saw them return safely with the money. Brother, he is overjoyed, but he stopped smiling fast. Eddie told him she's pregnant. John thinks he can take the money and give them a good life. But for just $3 million, to anger a gang boss, is it really worth it? Facing his sudden rage, Eddie is too tired to be mad. John finally realized it. He screamed in pain. But the dead man couldn't come back. It was too late now. Edie tried to comfort John. They kissed each other. John then said their vow. Were they fighting for survival? But gunshots rang out. Edie truly loved John, but love isn't endless tolerance. Edie's life was pure tragedy. Everyone close did as they pleased, pushing him deeper into darkness. Now she has a child. As a mother, she must end it all. When night came, Edie sneaked into Nick's home. Facing the gun's dark barrel, Nico sits down honestly to talk with Edie. It turns out Nico didn't call Curly to intercept. The real order came from Nico's lifelong sidekick. The guy was just jealous. Hearing the news, Nico wasn't surprised at all. The sidekick grew up with him. He's been dishonest since childhood. He kept stealing from Nico, but Nico wasn't angry at all, because old G is the only one who truly loves him. Even as a mob boss, Nick is just like Eddie. He's lonely too. After hearing this, Eddie suddenly asks Nick about his bathrooms. Nick says there's one upstairs and downstairs, but the upstairs one's broken. Then Eddie says to Nick. Nick is confused. Why is she suddenly caring about his toilet? Turns out, Edie's had a tough life. Every time she moved, no matter how many lived there was only one toilet. Her dream's a house with 2 bathrooms. One for John, one for herself, so no matter how John messes his up, Edie always has a clean bathroom. Nick was still confused, but then Edie got up to leave. Along with her share of the money, Nick didn't stop her. After Edie left, he called in his old assistant. A few years later, Edie moved in with her best friend. She opened a small car repair shop. Her child was already born. He's old enough to walk now. It was Christmas time. Her best friend's whole family came over. Watching the lively scene before her, Edie sat alone by the window. A genuine smile appeared on her face. John was dead. He could never have a complete family. But this little happiness before her was enough to make her content.